What's good, people? Welcome back to the channel. KG is back. It is time for a brand new transfer talk, and we got some good stuff in it today, people. Very, very good stuff, including some links, manager quotes, which I'm very hopeful about. I want to get into that with you as well. And yeah, we're just going to get straight into this one, people, because we thought it was over. We thought it was done. But Igor Paixão will be staying at Feyenoord for now. Marseille cannot raise the funds, according to reports in Holland and in France, respectively. Igor Paixão seems to be set to remain a final player for now. Feyenoord was in talks with Marseille, but it appears both clubs cannot reach a financial agreement, and the French side is therefore moving on. And that is music to my ears, people. I thought this was over, man, and the fact that there's hope again, I can't lie, it's got me excited. Not gonna lie to you, it's got me excited because I do feel, with the way we've been recruiting so far, I do feel that we've got the financial package to entice Igor Paixão to move to Leeds United and also satisfy Feyenoord on their transfer demands. So it's now a case for me of everything that we've heard previously via Graham Smith and other people as well about Leeds United sending him, their proposal to how to sign him and everything else like that. Is it enough to convince him to leave Feyenoord for Leeds United? Now, Rafinha is a hero of his, as he's seen, as he said previously. Will he follow the Rafinha path? Can Rafinha speak to Igor Paixão and tell him it's a great place to be? I hope that is going on as I'm talking right now. Because this player here, I've said it before, this is the needle mover. This is the player here where when we're in tight games, he will come up with that moment of magic and either get us back into the game or get us the winner. There's no minuses to this player. There's not one. Whatever Feyenoord are asking for, they're well within their rights to ask for because he is that good. Now, will he take that next step with us and then do the Rafinha thing and move on, or will he stay here as we ascend the league and get into Europe? I like that option better. But my thing is, Leeds United, do everything you can now. Get aggressive with this player. We've sorted out the defense, the central defense anyway. Sorted out central midfield. Let's get this one in. Let's get this key component of our survival bid in the door. So people will keep an eye out on this one. Hopefully there's news imminent of Leeds United going in for him and Igor Paixão becomes a Leeds United player because this is the one that I want. Someone else we've been linked with today is Mehdi Taremi, Iranian striker, very experienced, only recently turned 33. And according to reports out in Italy, Gazzetta dello Sport, Leeds United, he's got a verbal agreement with his agents and Inter to leave, and Fulham, West Ham, and Leeds have credited an interest in the £7 million striker. Now, Teremi, obviously, he did not have a good time at Inter last season. It's one of those where he's got a great goal scoring record for Iran internationally, but Inter did not go well for him. 1 goal in the Champions League, 1 goal in Serie A. But before that, for Porto, he was very prolific when it came to goal scoring or goal involvements. Now, it could be a case that it's one bad summer or one bad year for him at Inter. But I always say this when it comes to strikers and converting from Italian league to Premier League, it's not a very high success rate overall. Now, it could be a case that it's one blip on his career where he hasn't scored a goal, or is it a sign of things to come? I don't know, and no one's going to know until he plays next season, of course. But it is just an interest at this point. My only thing is I would have liked him to be the Mecha signing, as in like second or third choice, rather than him coming in and being the direct competition for Joel Peru. I would have much prefer him to be in the Metro spot rather than be one of the main at this stage. And listen, 33, by the way, is not old. The amount of comments I get from people saying that, oh, this play's too old at 32. Are you guys insane? Listen, if there's one thing in today's game that is much better and is, way more advanced, it's players' fitness. Players are way more fit now than they've ever been due to, diet, science, and everything else. So for me, signing a freshly 33-year-old isn't the issue, but it's more of the risk involved. And listen, every striker is going to be a risk. Even if we sign Rodrigo Munes, that's going to be a risk. But I much prefer the Rodrigo Munes signing, or even go for Aleksander Mitrovic, than going in for Teremi. But look, it's only at interest at this stage. We'll see what happens with this one. But yeah, I think, as the main striker, after a down year, it is a risk. Of course it is. But listen, in order to get Rodrigo Munes, Daily Mail have been reporting that Leeds United may need to seek players to leave. And for me, that's pretty obvious anyway. I think we need a few players to leave regardless, but especially if you're getting another striker to then plow in more wages and more, funds into the striker spot when you've still got players that need to be moved on, I think is, well, you're getting your ducks in a row first, but you need to move some of these players on. And we know with Mateo Joseph, he's going to be leaving, back to Spain, with soon. Patrick Bamford is going to be leaving as well. He's not in the plans, but they will need to possibly move some out before they can rebid for Rodrigo Munes. Now, with Bamford, this could be a case of Leeds United may have to supplement his wages for the year. When he moves on, he may like the look of another club, but if they're not offering him near what he's on here, it may make him have second thoughts. And you could say he should be more ambitious, go and play. You're not wanted here, but he's on a contract, people. And this is what I always stick up for players, even ones I don't want here. Okay. And this, I've never changed. He's on a contract that Leeds United gave him. So if he is asking us to supplement his wages to move for this season alone, because he's got 1 year left, Leeds United may have to do it. But for me, it's a win for him being out the door and not being an option at this football club. So we'll see what happens with that. We will need to move players on, and not just in the striker area, maybe in the midfield too, or maybe not. And I'm going to go into that now. So we'll see what happens with Rodrigo Munes on the next update. But Daniel Farke, who I want to speak about, and there's some very promising stuff after the friendly yesterday, and it's about tactical formations. Because we've seen Daniel Farke in the 2 years he's been here. He's been very inflexible and very one-track minded, very pre-planned substitutions. Unless we're losing, then all the strikers come on. But he did say some really promising things after the game, and I want to get into the quotes here. We know that he set up a 4-4-3 against Man United until later in the game, where it went a little bit mishmashy with both teams in the end. But he did revert to the 4-2-3-1 that he's very famous for. But he said this, and I do like this. But so we'll get into his quotes. He wants to be flexible for a range of challenges in the Premier League, which is music to my ears. We are flexible and want to be flexible. I'm not addicted to base formations. I'm more addicted to principles. And listen, people, as I say to you all the time, the club, Farke, everyone, he is everything that people say. Okay, so that's a direct response to everyone that says he just is one formation man. There are different challenges and games where we don't expect too much possession. When you travel to Man City or to Arsenal, to Liverpool, those games will be different to the games against the promoted side. So we need different options. Last season, we played in a very similar base formation because we were winning games. When you're winning, you do not want to disturb it. I expect more challenges next season and where we have to mirror the opponent more. So it's important to prepare for that. And that, for me, is what I wanted to hear from Daniel. Now, he needs to put it into practice. I know he said something similar last season, but like he did say, we were the best team in the league and we didn't have to change too much. Now, were there games where we could have done with a change of formation or an earlier sub at times? Absolutely, there was. But as I've kept saying, and I keep saying overall, it is different when you're going up against the Plymouth, Bristol Cities, and all these other teams and keep on trying what you want to try for 70, 80 minutes, because eventually with the quality we had, it will work. In the Premier League, you will not be afforded that opportunity. If it's not working by 70 minutes, you could find yourself 1-0 down, 2-0 down. That is the big difference between the two leagues. And it does seem like Daniel Farke is ready for that. Now, he did say that last season in terms of changing formations. He did echo something similar. But this is the litmus test now. We're in the Premier League. We're not the best team anymore. And that's all I've wanted to hear from Daniel Farke, in that he is going to change. And we did see that with Man United. So there could be a game, people, where we will see Anton Stack, Ampadu, Tanaka in the midfield together. That sounds lovely to me. That sounds absolutely brilliant. So as long as he, follows through with his words here, we could be, with the coaching, it might not be so much of a problem. Now, it's all about when the games start. Proof is in the actions, of course. You can't just go by words. But I do like what I've heard there. And that's what I've asked from him. People, think that I've got this Danny Farke thing. He's just shown previously that he is inflexible at times, but maybe that's because we were the better team. Maybe we will see a different side of him when we're in the Premier League, and we're going to have to. Of course we are. But as long as he's doing well, Leeds United are doing well. So I do hope he is successful and we're not having to look for a new manager after 10 games. But I want to get your thoughts on this. Are you more positive or more hopeful with what Danny Farke said after yesterday's game? Or do you think he's going to revert back to type as he was in the Championship? He's going to have to change. But if you think he's going to revert back to type, let me know in the comments. And that is it for the update, people. That is it for the update. I think that's a really positive one as well, especially in due to the coaching, because that is the one question mark I had. But if he follows through with that, happy days. Listen, big up for the support lately on the channel. Got 3 new members, John, William, and Wendy. Thank you for joining the memberships. If you want to become a member of the channel, the link is in the description, or you can donate via super thanks in the comment section. Guys, it's been a pleasure. I'll see you in the next one. Like the video before you go. It's free to do, helps out the channel immensely. Peace out.